All right. Well, greetings, everybody. And I want to thank Greg and the Berwyn Combined Veterans Organization for arranging this. I know this is a big effort. My name is Roger Rosenquist, and I'm the director of the Chicagoland chapter of Pets for Vets. Pets for Vets is a Illinois registered 501c3 nonprofit. And we are chartered by Pets for Vets Incorporated, which is a national nonprofit. And there are over 20 chapters nationwide currently. We are the only chapter currently in the state of Illinois, and our charter is to cover Chicago and Cook County and the surrounding Collier County areas, including DuPage, Kane, Lake, McHenry, and Will County. I always have to list those because I can never remember all of them. So it is a pretty significant geographic territory that we're covering. Our mission is to assist our military veterans, especially those that have been diagnosed with PTSD or traumatic brain injury, by providing them with trained companion animals that we assess, adopt, and train, and then delivered to the veteran at no cost to the veteran. I'm frequently asked if I'm a military veteran, and I'm not. However, I have a brother-in-law who, my late brother-in-law, who was a good friend, was a veteran who saw, he was a U.S. Army paratrooper who saw a lot of combat in Vietnam. And my father was a U.S. Marine Corps veteran who saw combat at Guadalcanal in World War II. So I have veterans are near and dear to my heart, and my involvement with Pets for Vets is kind of my way of giving back and recognizing them and keeping their memories with me. So the statistics that relate to what we do are striking. The number of veterans who suffer from PTSD is estimated at 20% of over 1.5 million military veterans. Likewise, the number of pets who suffer from also can suffer from trauma and need new homes is also enormous, as you can see from the numbers here. Interestingly, the COVID crisis that we're experiencing currently has impacted that in a somewhat positive way. The number of animals available in shelters has actually decreased as more people have adopted animals across the country. So that actually is a positive thing. Assuming that those animals all find good caring homes, which in most cases, hopefully they do. However, there's still a huge number of animals who are euthanized every year, over 1 million who are euthanized who are not able to find new forever homes. So, our mission is to help both the military veterans and shelter animals hopefully find new forever homes and begin a new start together. And so we view our role as being that bridge to help bring them together. But as I'll talk a little bit about, it's much more involved than that. And so I'm going to go through in a short bit, I'll go through what kind of the processes and how we do that. But the benefits of the companionship between for both a veteran and a pet are very clear. Anyone that is a pet owner understands the unconditional love that you get from a pet can provide a very calming presence, especially when times get tough. And they also can help with physical activity and help get you up out of that chair or off that sofa. And the fact that you're responsible for that animal's life and caring for the animal also can be very psychologically fulfilling and important to an individual. And there are medical studies that back that information up that have been done. So Pets for Vets, the national organization, was founded by a young woman named Clarissa Black, who had an extensive background in working with animals and an education in zoology. And so as part of our mission, so we frequently get asked, so well, who's eligible to receive an animal from Pets for Vets? And it's pretty much wide open. Any veteran is eligible to receive, from any military branch is eligible to receive a dog. We typically do not provide dogs to active servicemen and women, just because the fact of being active would restrict them from being able to care for an animal. So our focus is on veterans, and the only requirement is that they are able to take care of a pet. And we usually work closely with their healthcare provider. Many of the veterans that are referred to us come to us from VA organizations who are very familiar with our organization, and the fact that we work closely with veterans who've been diagnosed with PTSD. And so we work closely with those healthcare providers and the veteran to ensure that the veteran has the willingness and the ability to take on the responsibility of caring for an animal. Because we don't want to make the veteran's life more difficult. Again, those of you that have pets know that a pet can be a big responsibility. So we spend a lot of time working with the veterans before we even begin the process of looking for an animal, to make sure that they understand that responsibility and what it's going to take. And that's a big part of what we do. And then we also make sure that the veterans have all the information, the resources that they're going to need to be successful in their new relationship. So a kind of a brief overview of what we do. It's important to understand that we're not an animal shelter. We don't maintain a supply of animals ready to train and provide to veterans. The way our process works is that we assign an application from a veteran who's requesting a companion animal from us. We assign that application to one of our Pets for Vets dog trainers. I should mention that we don't only provide dogs, we also will provide cats. In fact, we have one of our trainers is currently working with a veteran who's requested a cat. But the vast majority of animals that we provide are dogs, because that's what the majority of veterans are looking for. The trainer, once they receive the veteran's application, works directly with the veteran, spends a lot of time up front during the introductory and greeting process that as we call it, that takes place over a series of weeks, and a series of phone calls and face-to-face visits, so that the trainer can get to know the veteran, what kind of animal will be a good fit for their personality and their lifestyle, and also so the veteran can get to know the trainer better and understand the trainer, because they'll be working with them for a considerable amount of time. On average, it takes about a minimum of 6 to 12 weeks. Frequently, it's much longer than that, to go through the process of getting to know the veteran, and then going out, assessing animals, adopting the animal, training the animal, until we finally are able to deliver the animal to the veteran. So it's quite a commitment on the trainer's part. For that reason, I like to mention that in order to keep all our administrative costs to a minimum, all of us, including myself, are unpaid volunteers. We all work out of our homes. We don't have any bricks and mortars location. Only our trainers and our foster families, who provide the dog with a home while it's in training, are paid a stipend for the time, their time and effort, and they also reimburse them for their expenses. All of our administrative staff, which is relatively small, are unpaid volunteers, so that we can make sure that the vast majority of money donated to our operating expenses go to the operations of adopting, training, and delivering the animal to the veterans. So a very, very small percentage is required for administrative costs. As is noted here, all of our trainers are professionals. To be qualified to become a Pets for Vets trainer, a trainer must have a background and certification in training, and then they have to go through a course of training that is conducted by the Pets for Vets organization to understand their process. Only positive reinforcement and training is allowed. No choke collars or any kind of disciplinary type of training is allowed as part of that effort. The other thing that is important to note is that although we do not provide service dogs, and I'll talk a little bit more about that in a minute, you'll notice I've been referring to them as companion animals. Although we don't provide service dogs, we can provide some specific training depending on the veteran's needs. For example, if the veteran is in a wheelchair or has difficulty walking because of injuries, the selection of the dog and the training of the dog can be customized to be able to provide the type of support and companionship that the veteran needs. One of the other unique aspects about our organization is that when we finally do deliver the animal to the veteran, we provide them with all of the equipment and supplies that they will need to get their new life started. Our chapter was fortunate to be contacted by an Eagle Scout candidate named Wyatt from Naperville, who selected us to do his Eagle Scout project. And in working with us, he decided to put together a project where he and his troop collected donations from pet supply organizations and created what we call welcome kits, which are delivered to each one of the veterans when they receive their animal. You can see the boxes lined up here, the welcome kits. They contain all of the equipment and supplies that a veteran needs to get their new life started with their companion. And on average, that costs approximately $500 all towed. When we also provide an initial supply of food to the veteran. And Wyatt, through his Eagle Scout project, was able to put together 50 welcome kits for us. So that was a really wonderful project on his part for us. Some of the other unique aspects of what we do is that once we deliver an animal to a veteran, we don't just say, here you go, thank you, and walk away. We are committed to staying in touch with veterans ongoing. We stay in touch with them either by phone calls, email, texting, whatever way of communicating the veteran prefers. And they all are a little bit different. We also cover, as I mentioned, all the expenses associated with the initial expenses associated with the pet, all of the vaccinations, the microchipping of the animal if they need that, healthcare checkups are all done before the animal is delivered. And then we also are able to work with veterans going forward to make sure, number one, that they understand what the ongoing cost is going to be in terms of annual cost for their animal, and help make sure that they have the financial ability to handle that. And if they have some challenges with that, we are able to work with them ongoing and help locate reduced cost veterinary care and equipment for the lifetime while they have their companion. I'm able to share some of the actual veterans in the Chicagoland area that we've provided companions to with their approval. This is Thomas, who is a Marine Corps veteran, served in Vietnam, and he lives alone, and he received his companion Rocky. Thomas is a great guy who is very active. He does a lot of bicycling and takes Rocky along with him. And so Rocky was selected to make sure he was going to be an active type of dog that would be able to do those kinds of things with Thomas. And I myself have stayed in close touch with Thomas over the years. One of our most recent, excuse me, our most recent veterans is Ladina, who received, had requested a small lap dog and received Romeo, the little white dog you see here. Ladina has twin daughters that you'll also see. And they, by all accounts, and from the most recent communication with Ladina and her daughters, they're doing great and really enjoy having added Romeo to their family. We were able to deliver Romeo, I believe it was 2 weeks before Christmas last year. And Ladina's daughters did not, it was a surprise to them. They didn't know that they were getting him. So that was a very rewarding, what we call match day, when we actually deliver the animal to the veteran and their family. This is Justin, another Marine Corps veteran who has the challenge of PTSD, and we were able to find a dog for him that you see here, Leia, a terrier mix, who is a nice combination of being both, can be very active, but also can be a couch potato when he wants to, which was kind of what Justin was looking for. And Justin has given us regular updates that they're both doing very well. So like everyone, we've had to adapt to the current impacts of the pandemic. And so we've taken careful precautions to protect the veterans and the volunteers in our organization. For several months at the height of the infection, we were not able to conduct face-to-face meetings with veterans, but that has opened up now so that our trainers are able to conduct the face-to-face meetings, which are required for us to complete the process. Part of that, though, now is that we require a COVID protocol to be followed on the part of all of our volunteers and the veterans, that involves them going through a substantial checklist to check for any symptoms on both the day before and the day of the face-to-face visit. And then, of course, face masks are required. We also have been able to assist several veterans who during these last several months have run into some financial challenges, especially with getting some expensive health care for their animals. And we've been able to help them financially get the veterinary care for the animals that they needed. Pets for Vets, as an organization, both our chapter and nationally, relies solely on donations for our operations expenses. And as I mentioned earlier, our trainer, our foster families are paid a stipend and reimbursed for their expenses. The rest of us are unpaid volunteers. And because we currently have a waiting list of veterans, we have a considerable waiting list right now. We are currently seeking additional dog trainers and foster families and assistant trainers to join our staff. We currently have 5 trainers. Our goal is to get up to 8 or 9 as soon as we can, to be able to handle the backlog of applications that we have. So in any of my presentation, I always put out an appeal. If anybody knows anybody who knows anybody that is a experienced dog trainer and is interested with helping our military veterans, we do reimburse them significantly on a stipend just to be able to attract the trainers that we need. We don't pay them typically as much as they would make in their own private practice of training a dog, but we're actually fairly close to it. And we've had to do that just to be able to handle the number of applications. Because as you can tell from the description, it's a big undertaking and responsibility on the part of the dog trainers. So we've increased the stipend over the years that we pay to them in order to attract getting qualified trainers onto our staff. And so we're currently seeking to add 3 more trainers and 3 more foster families. Fosters, when we adopt the animal, I should say when the trainer adopts the animal, the dog is adopted by our organization. It's immediately placed into a foster family while it's in training. The challenge there is the foster family needs to be located close enough to the trainer so that the trainer can get to the dog about 3 times a week to do the training. So that's part of the logistics that me and my small staff help them with. And in some cases, the trainers will foster the animal themselves while they're training it, but we don't expect them to do that, and in some cases they're just not able to do that. So that's why foster families are so important to us. So again, if anyone knows anyone who knows anyone that's willing to foster an animal whilst in training for an approximate period of 12 weeks, or knows a trainer or someone who would like to help a trainer in terms of just being an assistant and being in the meetings with the veteran and taking notes and that kind of thing, please contact us. It's very easy to contact us. The Pets for Vets website is petsforvets.com, and it's a main website where all of our chapters are included, and then our contact information is included here, the phone number that we can be reached at, and our main email address.